Hi everybody, it's Colby from Amore IT Solutions. Today, I wanted to talk about what type of security or surveillance cameras you should look at purchasing for residential and for businesses. Let's start with residential. We've talked about it before. The we like to go with the higher quality cameras. There are a lot of wireless security cameras like Blink, the Arlo series, some of the Ring security systems. A lot of people like to gravitate towards those. You see a lot in marketing about those. We don't particularly care for them just because we don't particularly care for wireless cameras. And anything that is wireless is vulnerable to hacking. Issues with signal strength, playback of the video, especially if you're not on site and off site. So, say you have it in a business and you're at your friend's house and you're trying to stream the video, either live or pre recorded or motion recording. Um, yeah, they tend to not work as well as a fixed Ethernet, cabled camera system. And um, the quality of the cameras, you can look at reviews. Some cameras, cheaper cameras do very well. We've seen some cameras, I can't remember the name brand, but I saw some the other day that were retailing for like $600 for an NVR system, which is the recording system with a 1 terabyte hard drive and 4 security cameras. And they were 4K cameras. Now, I could tell you that a $600 bundled camera system is not going to compete with an Axis communications camera system. Um, there's plenty of other brands where, they're highly rated. You could go, like I said, and search for them and see the reviews on them. The problem is here in Michigan, like I've talked about before, the inclement weather conditions in the winters. it, the, those cheaper cameras just will not survive, the winter conditions. Maybe you get through one winter, but you'll start having issues with. I've heard of people saying stuff where everything from the camera lenses will fog up internally. Then they'll have to bring the cameras inside to warm them up. It might take some hours, maybe a day or two, for them to actually warm up, to get that off of the inside of the lens. And they put it back outside, and on another cold or um, a day that has moisture, it does the same thing. Other things that we've heard of and seen are cameras, cheaper cameras that we call cheaper cameras. Having issues with just breaking, for no reason. We've seen people with some of these wireless camera systems that they've had them for 3 or 4 months, and then one of the cameras breaks or the NVR breaks. And I've said this before on the channel, and I'll say it again: you get what you pay for. If you're looking for a good security camera system, there's a few things that you want to look at. First, you want to look at the manufacturer, the reputation. How long have they been in business? What types of cameras do they have? Do they have a small selection of cameras or a wide variety of cameras? Um, are you looking at 1080p high definition cameras? Are you looking at 4K cameras? Um, you can get bullet cameras. There's the two most commonly known camera systems are bullet cameras and dome cameras. And you could find, with some of these manufacturers, a good 1080p bullet or dome camera for between 250 to $350 maybe, and that's each camera. So like I talked about before with bundled systems where you've got the NVR recording system and the four cameras for $600. I mean, that's the cost of most good or better quality camera systems. That's like basically two cameras. So I mean, and people say, "Oh, the price of these cameras are just so outrageous." I don't want to spend $1,000 or $1,500 or more for a camera system. Well, then what are you using it for? Why are you even getting one? I mean, do you want to just go get a $600 camera system that may break in the better part of 6 months to a year? Have issues with buffering, not being able to play back certain clips, not being able to connect to it remotely using your smartphone or a tablet or your computer. These are some of the issues with some of the cheaper manufacturers because they just don't have the backing, the money, you know, put forward to be able to have the software that works well with the hardware. And visually, you can go on YouTube and look at some of these cameras. They do, plenty of YouTubers do reviews on these cameras, and you can see a big quality difference in some of these cameras. A lot of reviews that I see though are, usually the camera systems are um they're comparable. So I haven't seen them where they use, a cheaper brand opposed to a more expensive brand and seeing the quality difference. I mean, I don't know, maybe we'll shoot a video like that so you guys can see that. But um, we had someone contact us about a week ago, and it was a church, and it's downstate. And we're in northern Michigan. This is down in the middle part of Michigan, and it was a church, and they were dealing with a lot of vandalism, a lot of spray painting, uh, breaking of windows, and there were some individuals that actually tried to break into the church at one point. And it's happening so frequently that the church now is thinking about putting security or surveillance cameras up. So they reached out to us, and we gave them some recommendations and sent them a quote. We're still waiting to hear back. They have to go through a board a board that actually makes decisions on what's going to happen as far as pricing and whatnot. So it has to be presented to their board, and we're going to hear back hopefully in a little while to see what they want to do. But sad when you hear about churches that are being broken into and they're wanting to or needing to get security or surveillance cameras. We hear it a lot of other businesses, and sometimes some residential people want to have them for security for their family. But it's sad when you see all this vandalism and people trying to break into churches. It just, like I said numerous times, it's kind of just those are the times that we live in, unfortunately, now, and it just doesn't seem like it's going to get any better. But reach out to, if you know someone in information technology, somebody that installs these cameras, repairs them, has used several different camera systems, pick their brain and ask them what camera systems that they think, are good. Like I said, we tend to not like the, blink cameras. I mean, they have their use. They're definitely for more of course, home use. If just like with wireless systems, we don't, wireless internet systems, we don't particularly like uh, seeing a lot of businesses that are just running, you know, all wireless. Their computers are all wireless, and they've got video cameras that are wireless, and their printers are wireless, and they have fairly good sized homes, and then they have connectivity issues. And wireless has come a long ways over the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years or more, but you're never going to in my opinion, wireless is never going to be as good as an Ethernet or a cabled um, system. So, businesses tend to either figure that out right away, and when they're building their business, they're moving into a location. They have it done before everything else is set up, before the walls are, put up, and um, or they are, the walls are hollowed out. They don't have any insulation or whatnot. Then they want the cables run. But a lot of businesses will, after the fact, want some type of, cabling done for networking, network jacks plugged in, or cameras, and then it becomes more difficult when it's a finished building or a finished office. So something to keep in mind if you are in business and you're thinking about hardwiring your office, your business, or putting video cameras in, especially inside. You want to get that done beforehand if you've got a lot of renovation or you're building a new building. Reach out to your local companies and pick their brain. Ask them if they'll do a survey, give you a quote, um, and I would say go from there. But getting back to these Blink cameras, and I'm not picking on Blink, but they're just one of the more popular camera systems that people kind of go for. Um, you know, they're pretty cheap. Uh, like here, right on their website, an all new Blink XT2 indoor outdoor uh, smart security camera with cloud storage included, two-way audio, 2-year battery life. That's the other thing with some of these wireless cameras is that they they run off of numerous like lithium batteries or all different kinds of batteries, but some of them are saying like you'll get a year's battery life out of them or 2 years. Well, probably in the most ideal conditions you are, if you're live in California or Florida in a warm state. But if you live here in Michigan in the winters, I just can't see getting that much battery life out of these things. As you know, if you've ever had your smartphone outside in the cold in the winter, that battery drains real quick. And the same is going to be said, I feel it, for these wireless camera systems. Let's see what else. What other? Arlo is another camera system that is pretty popular. Same type of deal. They're wireless camera systems, and you can get them for fairly cheap. We've talked about these camera systems before with having the magnetic back on them. Like this portion of it right here is actually mounted to, I don't know if that's a window or what, but it should be like a wall, and then it has a magnet on it that the camera actually sits on the actual physical mount. And to me, it's fairly easy to steal. You just yank it off the magnet, and you've got yourself, I guess, a camera, or you defeat the purpose of being able to have a camera system that isn't going to be vandalized, just like your building, your house. You're putting a security system in there to try and deter or trying to catch people in the act. And if they know you have these systems, yes, you might get them on camera before they vandalize it. But if they do that and steal your camera, that's twice as bad as just vandalizing your building. But that's just our opinion, in my opinion. So anyways, just wanted to make a quick video on this, and like I said, do your research. Like I said, we like Access Cameras. They're a very reputable company. They have a very wide range of cameras, anything from residential to business cameras, bullet cameras, dome cameras, 360 degree cameras, um, pan and tilt cameras. They have loudspeakers. They have the door access with cards or with punch keys. And then they also have video cameras on them. Um, the software that they use, I think, is free. In fact, I know it's free, to put on your smartphone and to put on your computers or whatnot to be able to monitor your camera system. So just real good company. I would prefer to install a reputable camera or surveillance system on someone's house or business than I would putting in a system that I feel is, from a marketing standpoint, makes themselves look really good, but from a uh, quality standpoint and build or think that they don't stand up, and we don't want to stand behind a product that we've heard about a lot of bad reviews, um, especially in inclement weather. So something to think about. If you have any questions about camera systems, or what type of camera systems that you should use for your home or business, you can get a hold of us. Like we always say, we're on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and obviously YouTube. We have a website, amoritsolutions.com. You can email us there. Our phone number is also on there. So go ahead and reach out to us, and we can see what we can do for you. So we'll see you guys in the next video.